So this video will be a tutorial of how to do a classic glam makeup. So first we're going to start with priming the face. You really want to focus on the middle of the face, just using a stippling brush, really blending it into those pores and making them invisible, and starting with a good clean base for your makeup look. Then you're going to go in with your brow pencil. I usually like to use a thin one just because it creates brow like hairs, like natural hairs, just filling in any of those gaps, creating a really good baseline. Not really filling in the top too much, because then that's when you get a really blocky look with the brow. And then using the spoolie just to blend in any harsh lines, just so that it looks a bit more natural. And then you want to go in with some Pears soaps. We'll just make sure to set the brows in place, and then they won't go anywhere all day, and create more of a fluffy natural look. So you just want to get the Pears soap and mix it with some setting spray and create a paste just like this in the video. You just want to mix it together to create a thick paste, and then brush that through the brows, brushing upwards and outwards. Then you want to go in with a concealer, one shade lighter than the skin tone, and this creates just to highlight the brow bone and get rid of any dark colors on the eyes, any veins on the eyes or anything like that. And this also helps to set and prime for the eyeshadow and become the most pigmented that it possibly can. You just want to use a flat brush, doing up and down motions just to create a flawless, seamless base. And then you want to go in with just a loose translucent powder, just dusting that on with a big fluffy brush just to set that concealer in place, or that primer in place, so that it's not too sticky and that you don't get any harsh lines with the eyeshadow. Now you want to go in with a light brown. I'm just using Hot Gossip from this palette from Colourpop. And then you want to go in with a large fluffy brush similar to the ones that you use for the translucent powder. And you just want to be doing small circle motions, windshield wiping motions back and forth, just blending it into that crease just to create some depth and to create some shadow. This is your base for the eyeshadow look. Dusting it upwards and outwards as well, just to create more of that elongated cat eye eyeshadow look. Now you want to go in with a darker eyeshadow just to create some depth in this eyeshadow look, and you want to use a smaller fluffy brush. I went in with Tabloid and Taboo from the Colourpop Bare Essentials palette. I just mixed them together and just making sure to tap off the excess, because you don't want to get too much fallout or too much product on your brush. And you just want to brush that outwards and again back in the crease, but more controlled motions, not going too far up towards the brow bone, because that can make it look muddy and cakey. Again, just the windshield wiper motions back and forth in little circles. Do controlled swiping motions. This will just create a depth for your eyeshadow look. And then you want to go in with a concealer, again the same one that you used before, and with your same flat brush, and just create a highlighted inner corner moment just for the shimmer to sit onto. Now you just want to go in with a shimmer, and you want to go in and you just want to press that on there, and then you want to go in with your medium brown shade, and you want to just blend those edges in so that you've got no harsh lines from where the shimmer starts and where the eyeshadow is. Now you want to go in with a full coverage foundation, and you want to use a flat foundation brush. This will just help apply the product to the face, create a flawless base. You want to make sure that you're matching the foundation shade to their neck. As you can see on the model, her neck is lighter than her face. And then you want to go in with a damp beauty blender, just blending in any of those lines from the brush. You really want to be avoiding the under eye area, because then you have too many products on top of each other, and under the eyes is where the makeup creases the most. So you want to be applying the concealer with a small dense concealer brush, starting in the inner corner of the eye, really covering any of those dark circles that they've got, because that's where they will show through the most. And then using damp beauty blender just to press that into the skin, make sure that it's evenly distributed. So now we're going to take a dark foundation color, just a small dot on the back of your hand, and mix it with a lighter concealer, still a dark concealer but lighter than the foundation color that you put on there. And you just mix them together on the back of your hand with the same foundation brush that you used before. Just use the leftover product to mix it in, and you're just warming it up on the back of your hand, really spreading it out so that it diffuses on the back of your hand and you don't get too much product going on your face. Now you just want to apply that to just under the cheekbone on her face. You can usually see where the client's cheekbone is by the contour of their face, so you just want to apply that just under that cheekbone, not going too low, because that can really droop their face down. You want to lift their face, and then you want to apply the contour around their hairline just to create some depth and just to sculpt their face a bit more, and just again under the jawline as well, just creating more of a sculpting look. And then you want to take a smaller fluffy brush and just use that same contour color, and just to contour the nose, you want to go straight down the bridges of the nose and then at the bottom of the nose. So just going back in with that beauty blender and just blending those under eyes, just to make sure as it's setting, it's not setting with creases in it. And then also just blending that into the edge of the line where the contour was, just to create that more blended, seamless look and no edges and lines where you placed that contour color. Now I'm going in with a dark red lipstick. You only want the smallest amount, so you want to grab that on the back of a little stick or spatula, and you want to grab the smallest amount, smooth it on the back of your hand using the same brush that you used for the contour and the foundation. And you really want to diffuse that onto your hand, so you spread it really, really thin, getting the smallest amount of product on there, because you don't want it to be too pigmented. And then you're going to blot that onto just above where you put the contour, and you just want to blend that into the skin, just giving it some color. You want to take that up, lift it upwards, and just blending that in again with a damp beauty blender, just to make sure that that all blends together nicely. Now we're going in with a translucent loose setting powder, and we're going to dip in our damp beauty blender and go in straight on the under eyes. You want to make sure to press that in a thin layer. That'll make sure that it's all set and no creases form. You don't want to bake it, so you want to wipe it off pretty quickly, otherwise it can dry out the foundation and the skin. So you just want to wipe that off, and using the same product that you had, you don't really need to grab any more powder, and just focusing on the middle of the face where the T-zone is and where it gets oily, and really not setting anywhere else with that. You don't want to set where you've got the contour, you want to set that with a contour powder, because that's just too many layers and that will create a cakey look. You just want to you only want to set with what you need. So you're just going to set with the bronzing powder, which will also create more of a pigmented look than washing it out with the translucent powder over the top. Just really light motions. As you can see, I'm really just dabbing it in there really, really lightly, really brushing it into that hairline just so that it blends nicely, and up to the temples, going in with the nose with the smaller fluffy brush. And we're just going to again define the nose even more with the bronzed in powder. Now going in with the same brush, we're just going to take both of these blush colors, just applying it where you applied the blush before, and the same motions that you applied with the powder bronzer, just upward motions on top of that blush that you placed before. Now that we've got the under eye set, we can go in with a small, dense, flat brush, just a small one, and same with those dark colors, the same dark colors that you used before when you were doing the eyeshadow. You want them to look right up, and then you just want to place that on the waterline and then blend that in a little bit. Now we're going in with a fluffy brush. We're just going in with this shimmer because it matches a little bit of the shimmer that we used on her lid. And we're just going on all the high points of her face. So under the brow bone, on the tip of the nose, on the bridge of the nose. We're also going to do it on the cupid's bow, and then we're going to use that fluffy brush again and just go on just above where the blush is. Now we're going to set the face. Normally people do set it at the end, but I find when you're setting after you're applying mascara, the mascara can run when you're wetting it, so you just want to apply it once you've done the base. And then we're going in with a mascara. So we're just going to pop that onto a mascara wand. You want the client to look down so that they can't see the mascara, and you just want to do swirling motions. And once we've applied the mascara and it's dried, you want to go in with your lashes, prepping the lashes like you normally would, trimming the outer edge so that it's fitting to the eye, and then just applying the glue and waiting till it gets tacky. The way that you're applying the lashes is you want to apply it with the tweezers, and you want to push it into that lash line. You want to start with the middle, and then once it's placed where you want it, you just wiggle it in there, and you wiggle it, and then you push the sides in as well. Now we're going in with a gel liner. We're just going to use a little spatula or a little wooden stick or whatever, just to take some of that product out. And you're just going to, the smallest amount, and apply that on the back of your hand or on a palette. I usually find with cream products, applying it on the back of your hand, your skin will warm it up a little bit, and then that'll create like a more creamier, easier application onto the face. And with a thin liner brush, and what you'll see me doing here is just pinching the top of it. It's a really thin tip of your brush. Applying that gel liner, we're not doing a full liner, we're just doing it on the inner corner just to create more of a blended look where the lash finishes, and then when her waterline kind of comes through. Now we're going in with these two nude shades. We're going to do two because we're going to do more of an ombre lip. We're going to go with a dark nude and then a lighter nude color. And then what you're going to do, you're going to use a brush. A lot of people like using the lip ones, and you can use a lip wand if you would like, but I like using a small flat brush because you can get those really crisp edges. And then just going in with that lighter lipstick and just the smallest amount on the middle of their lip, and you tell your client to rub their lips together. This is the finished product and this is what the end will look like. So yeah, we're all done. Thank you for watching.